Uh, what's up, YouTube? Flan Speaks. NFL playoffs are about to start. I'm just sitting here watching. I think this Colin Cowherd or whatever talking about the playoffs or whatever, and it just got me thinking. You know what I need to do? I need to go out there and talk about what this dude talking about. Just my feel on it. And I don't feel like doing the voiceover of his and that sort of way. So I'll just discuss pretty much the playoffs, which is it's going to be good, going to be entertaining. Um, but I also want to put out a word on my opinion about the Philadelphia Eagles, our chances, and the one thing that I do believe, if anything, would prevent us from winning a Super Bowl this year, I think that one thing would be our defense, unfortunately, and I hate to say that because according to the stats, we have the number one defense in the league. That's what the statistics are saying. That's crazy. Number one against the pass, all of that, right? So those who like to argue with stats, and I'm not going to lie to you, I'm not a person that doesn't use stats. I do use stats. I use stats when it supports the argument that I already have, right? My argument is always primarily going to be the eye test, and film. That's always going to be my argument when talking about anything, whether Jonathan Gannon, the team, the offense, whatever. My primary, the way I'm going to judge my overarching view is primarily um, what I see on film. Because I'll take time. I watch all 22s. I do all of that, right? I try to learn defenses, schemes, all of that stuff, right? So it's going to be primarily be based on that, what I've seen, and I put the work in with that. And also, my eye test, general eye test, about the skills of the players, all those different things. The eye test. I can't help it, right? Football is something I played when I was younger, high school, little league, all that, right? So I played cornerback, right? So I feel like I could speak about some of this stuff, right? I just do. The dynamic of working with a team, all of that. But anyway, it's Jonathan Gannon, and this is my point. But all that, I just had to let y'all know how I just look at sports, right? Jonathan Gannon to me did not do a bad job this year, right? He didn't do a bad job. I can't say he did a bad job. We are 14-3, and the defense has a lot to do with that, with us being 14-3. Period. Like, if you're just gonna be an honest person, you have to be real about that. Our defense has had some highs. Our defense has done a lot of great things. Have got some interceptions. Have had games like Minnesota. The defense was the star. The defense and Jalen Hurts were the star in Minnesota. Period. Right? Slay getting in interceptions, all of that. I seen C.J. Gardner-Johnson going crazy. I remember the first game against Dallas, especially that first half. The defense was crazy, right? So I seen a lot of good from the defense, and but I gotta tell you, based off of what I see, and I know what the stats say, going into the playoffs, I don't trust Jonathan Gannon. I don't. I don't trust Jonathan Gannon. I got to be honest about that. Um, Jonathan Gannon, listen. Jonathan Gannon is a defensive coordinator who runs a scheme that is predicated on trying to stop uh, big plays, right? Not letting you go over the top of anything like that. So at times we'll concede 5 yards, short underneath stuff, with the idea that, if we stick to our fundamentals and make tackles, right, and and if our defensive line wins and our defensive line gets home, we'll all be fine, right? This is really, in summary, Jonathan Gannon's defense from a philosophical standpoint. Not even talking about the specific plays he called, but philosophically, every defensive coordinator and offensive coordinator has a philosophy, and that's basically his philosophy there. He believes that's the key to winning, to having a great defense, right? All right. Now, me, I look at it like a little different. My philosophy is depending on who you're playing, you do what it is that you got to do in order to produce three and outs. For me, I believe a defense's goal philosophically should be to create three and outs. To get the hell off the field as fast as possible. That is the goal. All right. Now, because that's my philosophical outlook with regards to defense, I'll never really be a Gannon guy. You get what I'm saying? Because I think philosophically there are differences. Now, even though I have a philosophical difference from Jonathan Gannon, if he can produce the type of results that convince me that I should at least respect his philosophical approach, then I'll be quiet and I'll just respect it. That's why I haven't really gone off on him. All right, and this isn't me going off on him. This is me just as we go into the playoffs, talking about what I think would be the one thing that can stop us from winning the Super Bowl is the fact that I don't really trust Jonathan Gannon. I don't trust him. And I can't even give you stats. I'm going to give you the reasons why I don't trust him. And it really comes as a result of watching the man every single game he has ever coached, his whole coaching career for the last 2 years as a defensive coordinator. I've watched his whole body of work because I watch every single Eagles game. I watch every single play. I go to all 22 type of stuff and overhead shots, all of that, and look at the defense. Look at look at their performances. And based on my 2 years of watching them, last year and this year, I've come to the conclusion that I don't trust him. I don't trust the Jonathan Gannon defense in a big spot versus an above average or to an elite quarterback. An elite quarterback at all. I don't trust him at all in a big spot against an elite quarterback. Based off of all the data that I was able to collect from watching him for the last 2 years. I don't trust him in that type of situation. Okay, but the same could be said for how I felt about Schwartz. I didn't really trust him either because I believe his philosophy is similar to his, but they just approach it in different ways. Schwartz he stays off, but he stays off. He just does man, whereas Gannon kind of sits in the zone. It's kind of the main difference. Both have cornerbacks that are 5, 15 yards off of the damn receivers. So it's very similar to me. That type of man. See, man to me, as a former cornerback, man is press man. I'm up in your face. You can't run away from me. I can stay with you. I'm just as athletic as you. I'm faster than you. I'm just as fast as you. Like playing cornerback, like I took that type of approach. If it's a dude that I'm a better athlete than, I'm just going to shut him down. And to me, that's press man. I had teammates though who would like in different situations who would like play off and all that. I just was never the type of dude to play off. I grew up watching Deion Sanders and Rod Woodson they are my two favorite players ever. Alright. And there's another boy that's one of my favorites. I just keep forgetting his name. He played for the Raiders back in '83. He later went and played for the Dolphins, all of that. The two corners the Raiders had. I watched the '83 Super Bowl Raiders against the Redskins. And I fell in love with the cornerback position starting with the Raiders in '83. Everybody remember Marcus Allen's 73-yard run. I remember that the way they locked down the Smurfs. The Smurfs, the Eagles couldn't stop all year in 1983. Couldn't stop them. Couldn't stop John Riggins. That was that Redskins team back in 1983. One of the greatest teams I ever saw. Real rap. I remember that Super Bowl. But the Raiders, they had locked down corners and stopped them. So I understand the importance of that. So um, if your defense doesn't incorporate that, I don't really respect the corners that much. I respect man corner. That's how I judge. Now there have been some great zone guys. If that's what you're great at, and you decide to do that, then cool. Like Richard Sherman earned my respect for zone guys. Before Richard Sherman, I didn't respect zone guys like that. Even Asante Samuel, um, some other great zone corners. Uh, Even Ty Law to a degree. Well, no, Ty Law was man. Yeah, but he could play zone too. Dudes like that, I learned to respect them. But my favorite cornerbacks were Eric Allen, Rod Woodson, Deion Sanders. Deion was like my favorite player, period. But Eric Allen was right, almost right there. He was like my first favorite cornerback that the Eagles had. Now he should be in the Hall of Fame, by the way. Eric Allen, shout out to him. He should be in the Hall of Fame. He has better numbers than a lot of cornerbacks that like Champ Bailey and dudes like that. Eric Allen was definitely better than Champ Bailey. Champ Bailey just for some reason got all this hype. But whatever. That's a whole nother thing. Um, I don't trust Jonathan Gannon, and this is real. You got to look at Gannon versus above average, great quarterbacks. Going back to last year against Justin Herbert, he got mangled. Against Derek Carr, he got mangled by Derek Carr. Think about that. Derek Carr just now got benched by the Raiders. Jonathan Gannon got tore apart by Derek Carr. He got tore apart by Herbert, as we said. He got tore apart. He always gets tore apart by Dak Prescott, which I find very disturbing. You can't stop Dak Prescott. I don't trust you. Period. Like you have to perform against the Cowboys. All right, you destroyed Cooper Rush. That's cool. You destroyed Cooper Rush. Did a good job. I like that. But then you did so well against Cooper Rush. I thought you could stop Dak. But then Dak hung 40 on you. Like right there, I just why should I um, think Jonathan Gannon is good? He just can't stop Dak Prescott. That's a problem. So those are the types of things I say, like to them, like he can't stop Dak Prescott. That's the problem. Um. Anyway, man, I still believe we're gonna go because this is what I'm kind of counting on. I don't trust Jonathan Gannon at all, but we got that number one seed. I think Jalen Hurts is gonna be healthy enough to really be really effective. I also believe that because he got another 2 weeks. This was the original 2 week injury. He ended up having 5 weeks before the playoffs, so that's cool. And I believe even playing through it helped him to heal because your body, you got to keep having those movements and motions in your body, and your body will get stronger. That's why I never had a problem with him playing. Unless it was the type of injury, it was a broken bone or something like that. But if he's healing, and as long as he's kind of smart enough, um, to play without taking hits, we get to the next 2 weeks, we good. You know. But Jonathan Gannon, man, like he has to put together some type of performance. But this is what I'm counting on. I'm counting on we got the number one seed. We at home. Our crowd. I don't think I can't see a team in the NFC coming in here, and that would be what, close to February. That would be close to February. You know what I mean? Like if we had to face a team that I'm even worried about, like even a San Francisco. I just don't. I don't see a rookie young bull like that coming in here in the Philadelphia. And now I'm gonna tell you, I would have a serious problem if you can't stop Brock Purdy, man. I'm having a serious problem if you can't stop Brock Purdy. You don't want blitz. All right, that's cool. All right, then the least you need to do is put the right personnel, assign the right personnel to the right personnel on offense. At least do that then. Don't have Hassan Reddick guarding Kittle or something like that. The type of stuff he be doing. Don't have like Hassan Reddick out there with McCaffrey. Don't have T.J. Edwards on McCaffrey. I don't care how you got to do it, whether it's going to be a zone, whether it's man, whatever it is. You need to have the right personnel assigned to the right personnel on offense to stop them. He started doing those types of things. I respect him. I have more respect for him. Um, but right now, the type of stuff he's doing just ain't working against those top quarterbacks. And I need to see him do that in a big spot in order for me to change my opinion about him. You're not going to just tell me, well, it's number one, against the pass and all that. What that mean to me? I need to see you do it against Dak Prescott. I need to see you do it against Aaron Rodgers. I need to see you do it against real quarterbacks. Like he did good against Aaron Rodgers in the first quarter. But then once Aaron Rodgers started heating up and he figured you out, he started tearing us up. You know what I mean? That's a problem. But the offense kept scoring. Jalen Hurts just kept the pressure on. You know what I mean? That's really what won us that. You know. But yeah, man, that's what I got on that. Let me know what y'all think, man. Like Jonathan Gannon, is he the reason that the Philadelphia Eagles wouldn't win, a Super Bowl? Is he the reason? For me, he is. Peace.